Welcome to Breaking Sales, a podcast dedicated to helping you have tough, meaningful, and rewarding conversations with your prospects and clients. In meaningful, what we mean is these are the conversations you truly feel like you are the prospect or client's conversational peer. There's no anxiousness or uncertainty holding you back. You feel a sense of calm and confidence in asking the tough questions. You're not thrown off by the bad news, and you expect the prospect to think about and invest into the conversation as much as you do. On Breaking Sales, we use the filter of psychology and innate human behavior to deconstruct the many misleading sales approaches that actually work against your efforts to build trust and close the business. Let's get started. Prospecting, outreach. Whether you're a PhD, attorney, founder, consultant, or sales professional, this activity is absolutely the lifeline of your business. Think about it. Without some form of proactive outreach, your business, earnings, and a true sense of fulfillment all hinge on your willingness and ability to consistently commit the time and effort to connect with those individuals or organizations who might need your help. Yet even knowing this, how often do you find yourself procrastinating, pushing off the actions you need to take because you're allowing yourself to make the decision based on how you feel in that moment? What would happen if you could learn to strengthen your resolve in that moment? Your ability to recognize how your current state of mind or emotion is about to impact your decision. How many times you've had prospecting or outreach blocked on your calendar, only to convince yourself that something else was more important? How often have you walked away from a conference with a stack of business cards, promising yourself you'd follow up on Monday, only to let your Monday mood determine whether those emails ever get sent? In this episode, I'm breaking down 7 shifts that will fundamentally change how you think about prospecting and outreach. We're not talking about motivation or feel-good tactics here. We're talking about the brutal reality of process, discipline, and the hard choices that separate those who achieve their goals from those who stay exactly where they are. Included in these shifts is one in particular, a truly powerful mindset that highlights how to leverage and strengthen the idea of one simple day at a time. So if you're ready to stop letting your day-to-day emotions sabotage your future earnings and sense of fulfillment, this episode is for you. Before we get started, a quick shout out. We don't know the results yet, but I wanted to thank everyone who took the time to nominate Breaking Sales for the People's Choice Awards. It was a bit of a clunky process, so thank you for the support. Over the last 30 days, I've had the chance to speak to a lot of different groups. I've spoke to a group of really cool PhDs. I've spoke to a group of attorneys. I spoke to a group of younger, inexperienced, or just starting out professionals. And I've also had the chance to speak to a group of very tenured and very experienced sales professionals. And it's ironic how in each one it comes up the same topic, and it comes up a little bit different. And that topic is prospecting and outreach. Right? No matter what your expertise is and how many years of education that you have, in this case, the PhDs, right? You still got to be able to try to connect with people who might be able to benefit from your services, from your expertise. Same with a bunch of attorneys, right? No matter what your expertise is there, you still need to connect with folks who might need your help. And obviously it runs the same whether you're just starting out in your sales career or you got 20 years already invested in your career. There's always that need to connect with new folks, put yourself out there, and try to find those individuals and those companies who need your help. You know, at its core, no matter what group you might fall in, outreach is all about mindset, and it's a journey. right? You're either going to have this mindset or you're going to develop this mindset that can help propel you forward when it comes to outreach and centers of influence, or you're going to have a mindset that holds you back. And I'm going to get into that in some good detail today. But prospecting and outreach is more, right, than just putting it on your calendar. It's more than just, right, making the dials or sending out the emails or setting up AI, whether it's through Salesforce, SalesLoft, or whatever it might be. It's a process that you build. It's not about the motivation piece. You know, the number one mistake I see most sales professionals make is that they allow themselves to make the decision on whether to do the prospecting or the outreach based on how they feel in the moment. So whether it's someone with years and years of experience or someone new just starting out, it just seems like so much is based on how the individual feels in the moment, right? Let's pretend you go to a conference. You're at a conference for 3 days. The weekend hits. You spend time with your family. It's now Monday morning. And in Monday morning, it says follow up from conference. How do you feel that Monday morning? More than likely will dictate, do you actually send the follow-up emails or not, right? Whether it's you've got this process that you have built and you've been somewhat consistent, but you had an off week, you had an off weekend. Now it's time to follow up and continue that process that you started, right? But how do you feel in the moment? On your calendar, right? From 9 a.m. till noon, it says prospecting and outreach. The decision you more than likely make to stick with that time frame will come down to, again, how you feel in that moment. Have you had an easy week, a hard week? Are there other things you can convince yourself that might be more important that you need to do at that moment in time? Do you convince yourself that this client needs this extra help, or the team needs this help, or you really need to focus on something else over here? And what do? You talk yourself out of the outreach based on how you feel in the moment. I'm going to go through 7 different ways that you can look at prospecting. Some of them are very unique and different, and I think they'll catch your attention. You know, the first one that we've always talked about is simple, right? It's the cognitive reframe. How do you talk to yourself prior to your outreach activities, right? Do you have to make the calls or do you get to make the calls, right? Or is it, hey, nobody wants to talk to me versus, hey, there are people out there who need to talk to me? Or I really don't feel like doing this right now. I hate outreach. Versus, you know, outreach is part of my role and responsibility because there are folks that are out there that do need to speak to me, and my best client is still out there, right? That's cognitive reframe. Being aware of how you're speaking to yourself prior to investing the effort to make the calls, send the emails, or reconnect with folks. Number 2, I love this one. This goes for anybody in any career who's striving to be a high performer. There's always going to be pain. It's up to you to decide, is it pain today or pain tomorrow? Is it discomfort today or discomfort tomorrow? You've heard Pam and I or Christy talking about this all the time. Which discomfort do you choose, right? When it's the 2 or 3 hour time block on your calendar, you don't feel like doing it. You can feel yourself not wanting to do it. So you're going to slide into that decision process where you make the choice based on how you feel in the moment. What are you doing? You're avoiding the pain and the discomfort today. But the problem is, what are you creating tomorrow? You're creating anxiety because you know you didn't do the prospecting. You're creating a situation where you might not be hitting your numbers. You might not be hitting your goals. You might not be achieving the financials that you want to achieve. Why? Because you avoided the discomfort of today And then what you're going to do is set up the discomfort and the pain and the experience of that tomorrow. So again, you always got to try to remind yourself, just ask yourself, what do I want to experience here? Discomfort, pain today, or discomfort, pain tomorrow? The pain today and the discomfort today is short term. The discomfort and pain tomorrow is long term. You have to make that choice. Feeding off of number 2, we'll go to number 3. You have to know why you're doing it. Why are you sending out the emails? Why are you doing the follow-up? Why are you investing this time? You have to have a destination in mind, right? You have to know where you're going. And where you're going might be is, what is it do you want to achieve, create, or experience 6 months or 12 months or 18 months from now? I mean, think about it. 6 months from now alone, are there things that you want to experience in your life or your career? If so, what does it take to get there? More than likely, it starts with prospecting conversations, getting in front of people, having good discussions. But the key part is getting in front of people, whether it's the networking, whatever it might be. You have to know where you're going. That is number 3. Have a destination in mind. Sit down, write out over the next 12 to 18 months, what do you want to achieve, create, and or experience? Let's go to number 4. And I've already mentioned number 4 briefly. It's not about motivation. It's about process. Look, motivation wanes. If you've got some motivation, great. But you know as well as I know, motivation is not permanent, right? It's up and down. Sometimes we have it, sometimes we don't. That's why process and discipline is so important. I don't care if you're not a disciplined person. I don't care if you don't like the idea of discipline. Can you choose that one moment or that one activity in your business as a sales professional, all right, that you purposely try to become more disciplined in? And that would be outreach, asking for referrals, connecting with your network, deciding to put on maybe small events once a quarter or once a month, sending out emails, or simply making some of those calls. Can you build it in your calendar so that there's process and discipline? Because again, motivation, right, is temporary. It swings up and down. So you want to build process. And as I mentioned, number 5, take the in-the-moment feeling out of your decision. That is so important. When it comes to prospecting and outreach, try to build some strength around your awareness, where in that moment, you're not allowing yourself to make the decision, do I make the calls or not? Do I send the emails or not? Based on how you feel in that moment. That is an area that you're going to want to strengthen. And here's the great thing about it. You can. You just have to become a little bit more self-aware. Do your best. Take the in-the-moment decisions out of it. Focus on the process and just having some discipline once a day in this area. That's it. So you avoid long-term discomfort and you're okay with a little bit of short-term discomfort. Here's something to think about. Number 6. I want you to try this. I want you to think about this. Let's pretend in your calendar there's 10 hours set aside each week for prospecting. So if you looked at your calendar Monday through Friday, you have prospected in there for 10 hours. Whether it's emails, phone calls, follow-ups, whatever it might be, asking current clients for referrals, whatever. 10 hours is set aside. And you stick to the time frame 6 of those 10 hours. So now you've committed and you were able to do 6 of the 10 hours. You convinced yourself, because you made a decision in the moment, not to do the other 4. So whatever it was, you decided and you allowed yourself to decide that the other 4 weren't necessary or important. So overall, you committed 6 out of the 10 hours. That means you netted 2 positive hours. Let's add a little flavor to it, though. Let's also pretend each one of these hours is a vote. So you got to place 10 votes in 1 week. Try it this week. 10 votes this week is your option you can place toward what you want to achieve, create, and or experience a year or two down the road. All right? So you have those 10 hours. And again, you committed 6, but you skipped out on 4. And if each one of those hours was a vote, you voted 6 times to go where you want to go. You voted 6 times to head toward what you're trying to achieve, create, and experience for you and your family. But you also voted 4 times to stay where you are because you didn't do what you committed to. You didn't do the other 4 hours of prospecting or outreach, right? The math is simple. You made 2 votes, or you netted 2 votes toward where you want to go. And if you kept that kind of pace up, as you could tell, it's going to take you quite a bit of time to get to where you want to go. So again, maybe try this. For the next week, next 30 days, experiment. Every single hour that you have toward referrals, prospecting, centers of influence, outreach is a vote toward where you want to go, what you want to create, achieve, and experience. But every time you blow it off and you don't do it, it's a vote toward where you're staying, where you already are. Interesting experiment. You should give it a try. And then lastly, remember, prospecting, outreach is simply about trying to find folks and put yourself in a position to connect with folks, organizations, and people who might benefit from your services, who might benefit from your expertise. It's your role and responsibility. Many of you are paid top dollar. You are paid very, very well to go out and connect with people and organizations to determine if they need your help. That is your role. That is your responsibility. That is what you are paid to do as a professional. It has nothing to do with your identity and who you are. So try to remember that. You are paid to play a role and a responsibility as a professional. It's not your identity. Those are my 7 shifts. Those are my 7 ideas, processes, or additives that you can use and try from a mindset standpoint to a practicality standpoint to improve your outreach and your prospecting. Because you have to remember, and I've learned this so many times in my career, your best client, some of your best relationships are still out there. No matter how many years of experience that you have, they're out there, but they're not going to come to you. You have to be responsible and put yourself in a position and go find them. Thanks for listening, and go get that next best prospect. Here's what I want you to remember. Your best client is still out there, but they're not coming to you. Every hour you don't spend on outreach is a vote to stay where you are. Every hour you do commit is a vote to go where you want to go. The math is simple, but the execution requires you to remove feelings from the equation. Start treating prospecting like the professional responsibility that it truly is. It's not a personal reflection of who you are. Your future self is counting on the decisions that you make today. Don't let them down.